I know you can say hook and hooked, but can you say took and tooked? In this video lesson, we will cover the use of standard regular and irregular verb forms. You will learn the reliable forms of past and present tense regular verbs, as well as the inconsistent patterns of many irregular verbs. After a quick but thorough practice session, we will try a quick test to see how well you have learned common regular and irregular verb forms. Let's begin. Now, a verb form item on an objective test might look like this. Thomas sang along until the CD ended. Then, as he was choosing a new disc, he lost control of the car and drived into a ditch. Now, is sang, choosing, or drived a badly formed verb? The word drived is incorrect, which option C fixes. Thomas sang and he was choosing are both in past tense. Therefore, we had to switch to letter C, drove, to continue our past tense verbs. Now, regular verbs have reliable forms. If you check out the examples that we have for laugh, start, and travel, you can see that their simple past, past participle, present participle, and infinitive all look pretty much the same. Irregular verbs, however, have no consistent patterns. If you look at our examples of drive, think, drink, and swim, they may sound similar, but when you start looking from their simple past, past participle, and present participle verb tenses, they look a lot different. Drive turns into drove, which in the past participle turns into driven, and present participle turns into driving. On many objective exams, you cannot use a dictionary to look up the correct form. So when in doubt, you'll have to rely on your gut feelings. Now, your eyes have seen in print and your brain has registered all of the possible verb forms that you will encounter for this skill. If you don't recognize the right answer, go with the one that feels right. Definitely don't confuse the forms of and have. Here's an example sentence. Instead of skipping class to go fishing, Yolanda should have studied for her accounting exam. The second of that we had for Yolanda should of was incorrect. She should have studied for her accounting exam. You also want to confirm that used to is in the past tense. Here's an example. Now that he's older, Fred has a full-time job, but he used to spend his summers fishing. Sounds like that summer's fishing was in the past, so let's change it to he used to spend his summers fishing. We are ready for our quick test. Please feel free to go back to the beginning of this video before you take the test as often as you like to review. You also have a handout on regular and irregular verb forms that goes along with this portion of the video. Please feel free to work along with the video or go back and review it at the end. So in our following questions, choose the option that corrects an error in the underlined portions. Now, of course, if no error exists, you want to choose letter D, no change is necessary. Item 1. We knew that Charlie had hid the cookies in his bedroom, so we stole his key and searched in all the dresser drawers. Do we want to change knew to letter A, knowed? Should we change hid to letter B, hidden? Should we change letter C, stole, to stealed? Or is the sentence correct and D, no change is necessary? You want to change letter B to had, hidden. Hid would not be correct. It's not in the past infinitive tense. Item 2. If we had known that you were serving squid eyeball stew, we would have come for dinner. Would you like to change of come to A, of came, B, have came, C, have come, or D, is the sentence correct and no change is necessary? You want to change of come to letter C, have come. The word of is not in the correct format here. You have to use the word have. Item 3. Priscilla used to have a pet parakeet. Her mother's story is that the bird escaped and flew away, but Priscilla believes that the cat ate it. Should we change letter A, use, to used? Letter B, flew to flied? Letter C, ate to eaten? Or letter D, is no change necessary? Letter A, use, should be changed to past tense to used. Item 4. Jalissa was soaked during the afternoon thunderstorm because she had chosen to walk to school rather than drive. Let's change the word choose to either A, chosen, B, chosen, C, chose, or D, it's correct and no change is necessary. You want to change it to she had chosen, letter A. Again, this is when you're relying on your gut feelings because choosed and chosen, letter B, are not even correct grammatically. Item 5. James brung roses and begged for forgiveness, but when Rhonda saw that her ex still hadn't shaved his ridiculous mustache, she shut the door in his face. Should we change letter A, brung, to brought? Letter B, saw, to seen? Letter C, shut, to shutted? Or D, is this sentence correct and no change is necessary? The word brung is incorrect. That is not grammatically correct. So we use the word brought, which is an actual word you would find in the dictionary. Item 6. If Toby had taken Charlene's advice, that bottle of soda wouldn't have exploded all over the front of his new white shirt. Should we change tooken to A, took, B, tooked, C, taken, or D, no change is necessary because that's correct word? That is not a correct word because tooken is nowhere in the dictionary. In fact, neither is letter B, tooked. Letter C, taken, is correct if Toby had taken Charlene's advice. Item 7. Cooper laid the 10-page paper on Professor Cook's desk. He had wrote the last sentence at 2:50 p.m., and then he ran across campus to deliver the work by the 3 o'clock deadline. Should we change A, laid, to laid, different spelling? Letter B, wrote to written? Letter C, ran to run? Or D, the sentence is correct and no change is necessary? The word written, letter B, needs to be changed. Item 8. We would have known that Mr. Carson had moved up the date of the quiz if we attended her calculus class more frequently. Should we change have known to A, of known, B, have known, C, have knew, or D, is this sentence correct and no change is necessary? Well, that spelling of known with an E end is not grammatically correct. You won't find that in the dictionary. So we're going to take that E out and put in letter B, have known. Item 9. Margaret braked the cookie and gave half to the young man stuck in the elevator with her. They told stories to pass the time as mechanics worked on the hydraulics. Should we change letter A, braked, to broke? Letter B, gave, to gived? Letter C, told, to telled? Or D, is this sentence correct and no change is necessary? Letter A, braked, is incorrect grammatically. You won't find that in a dictionary. You want to change it to broke, the past tense form. Item 10. Meredith would have went to the concert, but Gregory misplaced the tickets, which they still haven't found. Should we replace have went with A, of went, B, have gone, C, have goed, or D, is the sentence correct and no change is necessary? Have went is ingrammatically correct. You have to use the word have gone. Meredith would have gone to the concert. Apparently the concert is already done. Well, that's it for your regular and irregular verb forms video. Please feel free to go through this video time and again in order to help review and strengthen your skills with your verb forms. Don't forget, you have a handout on regular and irregular verb forms that goes along with this video.